Aight, aight. What's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, taking a look at Dogecoin, DOGE, against US dollar tether on the Binance chart. Going to be taking a look at some of the technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be taking a look at where I think prices will interact with here. We seem to be interacting with some very significant resistance up at this top of the uptrend here. Prices seem to be exhausting, and we are interacting with some very tight resistance at this range. Lots going on with Dogecoin right now. Jumping into it, let's quickly recap this aggressive uptrend here. Dogecoin has been relatively worthless for most of its existence. Now, fundamentally, more than ever, being supported by a brand new community. There's tons of strength in the longevity of Dogecoin now, more than kind of ever before in its life, with fundamental support from billionaire Elon Musk, tweeting about Doge and getting more exposure for it. There is now a very strong community holding Doge, buying Doge. This is a very aggressive candle. Tons of buy pressure in this coin now, fundamentally more than ever, for whatever reason. Now, from a technical aspect, we are very overbought. That's why we're interacting with this resistance. That's why we are very sideways. This is a lot of aggressive upward in a very short amount of time. Quickly, I just want to take a look at this here. This is from the 8th of July of 2020. This is to the 1st of January of 2021. This is 177 days of essentially sideways. Now here we have another, if we go from like this kind of point, if we incorporate that point as well, we can go to here. This is another 150 days of sideways. If you combine those two, there's like just about like a year, approaching a year of sideways. Like, so Dogecoin can be sideways for a very long time before it takes off. Here we are in some more sideways. We are stuck between this aggressive range for like only 70 days. So like not even 3 months, just over 2 months there. And so realistically, we could be trading sideways for a very prolonged amount of time before we take off yet, because this is very overbought. This is very aggressive uptrend in a very short amount of time. This candle alone is closed 390% above the previous candle open. So previous candle close, sorry. So there's lots going on with Doge fundamentally and technically now. This very unique price action that it's never really experienced, and there's lots going on. When we slap on EngineeringRobo here, we have a new perspective come into play along with these fettuccine lines. We have what I indicated was some significant kind of resistance. This range here, I believe, was going to be a significant range that we needed to solidify before kind of continuing the uptrend. We do have some very nice buy signals here. We have the moon still present. We have a buy 4 still present since the 1st of January. We have the buy 4. We have the super buy 2, buy 3 combo on that 390% candle. We have the hell flash briefly as everybody sold off, took profits. That was quickly bought up. Moon came back, but we printed a very minor, hard to notice kind of lower high, I believe. That was like very minor, but was rather significant because it is a technical lower high. And so we've been kind of consolidating, kind of downward and sideways kind of since then, printing some higher lows relative to the kind of other swings there and dips there, but lower highs and higher lows have kept us pretty sideways, tight between like the low 5 cents and the high 5 cents, is just under 6 cents there for this prolonged kind of past couple months. Now we have these bull signals and a super buy behind the bull there. That's if I were to hide the bull, there'd be a super buy there coming in, and we seem to be finding support now above 6 cents. Personally, I want to see support honestly around 6 or 7 cents perhaps before we kind of take off again. This is very bullish, but Dogecoin is very bullish and is quite explosive and could very well have another 100%, 200% candle out of nowhere at any time kind of thing. And that's just the significance of crypto space. And in the crypto sphere here, anything could happen, anything is possible. Prices are far more volatile than most other markets. But we are still very overbought. We are interacting with some very significant resistance, and I believe that we will need to solidify these key levels over the course of a few weeks before we can kind of take off in the long term. Personally, 10 cents I believe is inevitable for Dogecoin in its lifetime. But after skyrocketing from kind of half a cent next to worthless all the way up to 9 cents just about kind of thing, like 8 and a bit, almost 9 cents there, is is way too aggressive of upward movement in a very kind of quick succession there. So some sideways, some consolidation, reaccumulation is pretty key. We have this 0.786 line correlating with the top of this kind of resistance range here. I believe closing above this line to be more short-term bullish. The longer we stay sideways and the longer we can hold these kind of key significant levels, the longer I believe the uptrend will last. But kind of with Dogecoin, a lot of its value is based on its kind of relevancy in the moment. And we could have these spikes and then easily sell off for months and months and months at a time. So there's lots going on with Dogecoin here. Be very cautious when taking a position. These do seem like very, very bullish buy signals, but we could have another strong rejection off of that 8 cent, 9 cent level, and we could come all the way back down to 5 cents, 4 cents. We have price action all the way down to 2 cents, and so realistically, this is kind of the range that we're in. This sort of almost 9 cent to 2 cent range, which I feel like price action could interact with in the kind of sort of near future if we get a rejection off of this kind of swing high here around 9 cents. Now, there's lots going on for Doge here. If you consider the price of Dogecoin against the price of Bitcoin, we can see that lower high is a little more obvious there. That's why we kind of printed sideways. We're trading sideways along the 97 Satoshi level, finding support along it, but getting rejected off of this 110 to 121 Satoshi range kind of thing. I do believe we're gonna need to open and close above 121 Satoshi before we can kind of continue this uptrend and re-interact with these swing highs here. But we do seem to be holding the support quite nicely. We flip on EngineeringRobo and we have a new perspective come into play. We have some more very bullish signals coming in. We had the sell for cloud sell back in the middle of February to indicate this sideways and the sell pressure kind of being present. The cloud buy was still in play. And the moon was still in play. So we had those two bull signals, those two bullish kind of buy signals present before these sell signals came into play. And so those together would suggest that there is enough buy pressure to kind of hold it sideways. But the sell for and cloud sell do suggest very heavy sell pressure. So combination of heavy buy pressure and heavy sell pressure, you get sideways. Now, to support this kind of upward breakout pending here, we have a super buy coming in at the 1st of April, and then we have this buy 4 now returning just a few days ago on the 6th of April, which is very, very bullish and does suggest that we can gain against Bitcoin. And so there is some good potential to break upward here in the very near future, and we can interact with these kind of higher price levels. But like I said, we are still very, very overbought, and so I do believe this uptrend could potentially be more gradual, perhaps, like rather than having these explosive spikes. That could happen, honestly, at any moment with Dogecoin. That's kind of the thing. So we realistically could, out of nowhere, just start like spiking up like that and like really take off, and it would just make no sense, and you'd wonder what happened. But if the market were to go the way I want it to go, I would love to see some kind of more gradual sort of gains here, as Bitcoin tries to figure itself out, right? I want to see a more gradual uptrend. These gradual kind of uptrends and these gains are are healthier, and they support the uptrend long term better, in my opinion. We're interacting with a key fettuccine level there, 0.382 level. Seems to be some key resistance correlating with the bottom of that kind of range here, this resistance range. Once you get some closes within it, I can be more short-term bullish. Getting some opened and closes above it, I'm more short-term bullish. But if we get rejected off of it and say we come back down, start closing below 97 Satoshi, then I'll become more short-term bearish. There's lots going on with Dogecoin right now. There's a lot of indecision in the market, and there's a lot of speculation on where Dogecoin can be and where it's going to be going. Returning to Dogecoin against USDT, there's plenty of traders thinking that Dogecoin could easily kind of reach the like tens of cents to like dollar range, and Dogecoin has this kind of longevity to it. But personally, I'm not really sure the trajectory of Dogecoin at the moment. I suspect, or I would like, and I suspect some prolonged kind of sideways eventually. I feel like the relevancy of Doge is slightly kind of fading, and until we get some sort of fundamental spikes that can spark kind of interest in it again, I don't think we're going to be seeing these aggressive kind of gains. But there's always a but in crypto, and momentum can change at any point in time, and we do have these very, very bullish buy signals suggesting we can gain against Bitcoin. But in my opinion, I still believe some sideways is kind of necessary But I am liking these higher lows. I am liking this uptrend. I am liking interaction with this very key resistance. Unless we just fly through 9 cents like it's nothing, I feel like we're going to be trapped under it for a little bit here. Is my speculation, is kind of what I've been getting from this kind of current price action. But there's always these bullish buy signals. Now, as we take a look at Dogecoin against USDT on like a different exchange, just for example, let's use Bittrex. And we take a look at the fear and FOMO zone. We're still up in the FOMO zone. Very, very, very high sell pressure. Very high. This is when the FOMO is taking place. That's why people are buying these tops, buying these dips. Lots of FOMO on Dogecoin right now. Elon Musk has done a very good job of kind of supporting the uptrend here, but I feel like he can only do so much. And so I speculate that once we exit the FOMO zone, like we would have to trade relatively sideways here until the FOMO zone kind of reaches price action. I believe we will kind of stay sideways. And so, say price action comes down like this. Once the FOMO zone is kind of above price action, we can re-enter it, and we can have another kind of FOMO-based pump where Elon Musk kind of says something about it on Twitter, and we can have another 100% in a day. But realistically, I still suspect that Dogecoin is reaccumulating. Now, lots going on. Anything could happen, obviously, in crypto sphere. But like I said, I still suspect that this is overbought. We're in the FOMO zone. This is a very high risk range to be trading in. And yeah, some sideways, I believe, is pending. When we take a look at the price of Bitcoin itself, we seem to be interacting with some very kind of key levels here. We're now opening and closing. We now had an open and close above this significant 57K support line. There's still a sell 4 present at the moment, and we printed a lower high relative to the kind of 6180 kind of resistance there. And we got a big kind of rejection off of it. So I mean, unless this candle continues to stay bullish, if we can get some more closes above 57K, then I believe we can kind of take off again, interact with this perhaps this FOMO zone. But there is very significant resistance here, and we are interacting with a very key range. I wouldn't be surprised if we stay sideways along between 57 and 60K, perhaps like 58 and 60K for kind of a couple weeks while alt season kind of takes off and other altcoins and whatnot take off, or we come back down. If we get rejected, I believe if this candle were to perhaps come all the way back down again to the like 59, 58K, we could start coming back down to like 54. And if we fail to hold that, I do believe we can come down to the the high 40s kind of thing. But there's lots going on in crypto here. We've been consolidating in this very tight range. We've been pushing price action closer and closer in this range for quite some time. And the harder you squeeze, the bigger it'll pop. And so realistically, a pop is coming. Now, thank you for hearing my analysis. Please check out all that social media down below. Try EngineeringRobo, free, link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.